If you're a solo creator like me and you make your content in a shop or a studio or something like that, where you've got like the 3D printers running, you've got loud HVAC systems going on, you've got any other kind of noise in the background, you need to set up a system and not just, just have the gear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the 3 setups that I use. My talking head setup, which you're looking at right here, my talking head, my run and gun setup. I got a couple different options that I use here. And then I'm going to show you my vertical kit, which I do to shoot some of my vertical format videos. I just created this space so I don't have to tear anything down. So it makes it less, there's no friction to create in here. And that's what I need. If there's friction, I'm not going to do it. It's taking up too much time, whatever. So I'm going to take you on this journey and show you exactly what I'm using in my setup. So hopefully it will help some of you guys to be able to create on your own too. So hopefully by the end of this, you'll know how to build a couple of setups that sound pro, look clean, and help you record consistently, because that's what matters. And I'm going to show you why each one is set up the way it is so you can just steal my blueprint. All right, so here's the real problem. Most creators don't fail because of the idea. They fail because the audio is bad or lighting looks good or they just want it perfect. And take it from me, a guy who's been doing this for over 20 years, you're never going to get it perfect. It's never going to be perfect for you, but it's going to look amazing to that person who's just starting out or even to a client. So don't criticize yourself too harshly. All right, well, this is my main talking head setup right here. Behind that prompter, I've got a Canon R5 and a 16-35 f2.8. I got it all locked off. It's sitting there on that mount. Now, it's wide enough that you can kind of see the background here, and it's close enough that I think, you can kind of feel personal. I'm not chasing cinematic. I just want a nice, clean delivery for you guys that's repeatable time after time. And now the game changer for me, anyway, is the Elgato prompter right there. Reason being is I can see myself in it recording, and I can overlay my script or my notes so I can read through it and still look at myself and still be looking at the lens. Right now, it's really hard for me to look at the lens. I want to look over here at myself while I'm talking, but that doesn't look natural. So I have to train myself to look at the lens. With the prompter over there, I can look at myself and my script, and it all looks like I'm looking at the lens, and you guys aren't any wiser. And if you struggle with rambling or anything like that, this thing is a total game changer. It will tighten your videos up almost immediately. You just have to make sure that you're not, kind of just reading along. You got to talk normal. I'm going to walk you through my lighting here in a second. My key light is the Amaran Verge Max. My fill light is the Elgato key light. And then I have some Govee glide lights all around the office here to kind of give me some accent. So I'll show you what those do over here on my talking head. All right, well, welcome back to my talking head. So I'm going to turn these lights off and show you exactly what each one of them do. So this is how you should normally set up a lighting setup. You start in a dark room, and then you start slowly adding all your lights in to see what looks good. So the first thing I'm going to add is my key light. So this is going to be my main light that lights me. It shouldn't be shining on the background. I don't have a grid on this one. I'll have a grid on my other one later. I'll show you what that does. But this kind of spills onto the background, and that's okay. Second light is going to be my fill light. So it's going to fill in the shadows on the side of my face over here. So let me turn that one on. Boom. So now I'm properly exposed. But this scene kind of still looks just like a little drab or whatever. So I want to add some accent to it. So like I said, I got those lights all around. So if I start turning those guys on, you'll see that the scene starts getting infinitely more interesting. And it ain't because of me. It's because of the lighting. So it's super important to get your audio dialed in and get your lighting dialed in. The camera gear, while important, you can still shoot this on a phone. As long as your audio and your lighting is dialed in, it's still going to look great. So don't let it discourage you if you don't have the latest and greatest and the most expensive gear. I know I've got a lot of high-end stuff here. I have it because I was a wedding photographer for millions and millions of years ago now. It seems like I've been doing this for over 20 some years now. So luckily for me, a lot of that stuff spills over into content creation. So I can use the tools that I have for my, my day job to create content for all you guys. Now, I don't mess around with audio because audio will make somebody click off of your video faster than anything else. So for my setup here, I've got my Shure SM7B going into my Rodecaster Duo. Now, this is overkill if all you're doing is recording talking head or doing YouTube videos, that kind of thing. I also do some gaming, streaming, that kind of stuff, and this really helps me separate out some channels. I've got some faders in there. It all gets complicated, but just to dumb it down a little bit or whatever you want to call it, you don't need all of this setup. If you want it to sound like this, that's what you got to do. But you don't need a mixer quite like this. And I'll show you on my other setup what I actually started with. It's much, much simpler than what I've got going on here. But I do love the way my voice sounds on this. All right, now this setup is for shop tours, grabbing B-roll, shooting prints close up. And it's quick. It lets me show you like the in the moment without stopping to, get all my whole production, up and running. So like I said earlier, I've got a couple of different options. These are my two that I use. This one's going to be my go-to. It's my Canon PowerShot V1. The built-in mic on this is actually excellent. If you're just moving fast, you want clean audio, or if you're just doing some B-roll, you don't have to worry about the audio, but it is great. And it comes with this little attachment. It's just a little dead cat that goes on there. I've been really impressed with the microphone that's built into this camera. Now, I want a little bit more audio out of it because like I said, I am an audio junkie and it does make a difference. So I do have the Deity V3 Pro plugged into it and it does enhance the sound, but you don't have to do that, especially starting out. So you can do a whole YouTube setup, vlog, whatever you want with just this camera. You don't need all the other fancy gear too. But this setup does keep things moving when I don't feel like building out a whole rig. Now my second option is going to be the DJI Pocket 3 with the mic 2 that has it built in and everything's linked together. So all the sound is all synced up and it's great to use too. And if I want some buttery smooth movement, this one's got the gimbal built in. It's super easy to carry. It's light. I just grab the Pocket 3 with the mic if I want to do some talking, and I don't have to overthink the setup. If I don't want to do any talking at all, if I want to do some pans or some slider movements or anything like that, this thing is great for it. And don't let the size fool you. The camera, the quality that comes out of this thing is great too. One more thing too, if you're not filming because you think that your gear feels too heavy or too bulky, this definitely clears that up. And I've got the attachments on it, the extra battery and the tripod stand. This all comes off, and that's as big as it is, guys. You can't get much smaller than that. All right, now I'm going to take you over here to my vertical setup and show you what it looks like. So looking at it from the outside, it's just tucked away in a little dormer here. And it's just got what I need. So let's go over it. So why do I have this vertical setup over here? So this setup keeps me consistent. I can just come over here and just hit record and go, and I'm ready to go with my short videos. And the key is to always be ready with this. If it's going to take me more than 5 or 10 minutes to set something up to make a vertical video, then it's more like a procrastination device, and I'm not going to get around to do it. So if I have this setup here that's just ready to go, then it's going to keep me consistent with getting out what I need to get out. The camera that I'm using here is the EOS R. I've got a 24 millimeter f1.4 on there. I'm shooting at f2 right now because it's daylight and the window behind me was just blasting some light through here, especially with that Pro Mist filter. So I have the Pro Mist filter on there, which is it's a 1/4 Pro Mist, and that's what's making all the lighting behind me look nice and creamy. Now, when I go to shoot at night and there's not all this extra fill light coming in behind me, the colors look really, really good through here. For my lighting, behind me is my key light. It's a 60 watt GVM light. It's a cheap light that you can get right from GVM or from Amazon. I'll try to link everything down below. I know it's a lot of gear in this video, but I have a small softbox with a grid on it, and what that grid does is it focuses the light down on me. It's not going to spill into the background like it does over on my big setup. I have a Amaram 150C, which is shooting that blue light into the background that you can see there, and at any point I can grab my phone and I can change the color of the lighting behind me if I want it pink, orange, blue, whatever. I think it's probably easier just to show you. All right, so I've got it set on blue now. If I want it pink, red, yellow,
green, and right now it's only about 50% power. And it can get a whole lot brighter in the dark. But let me crank it up here to, a little bit higher so we can see it here in the daylight. Now, also behind me, I have a newer tube light that's shooting out a little contrasting light. I like to do the teal and orange look. So that's giving the orange. Normally I'll have the teal coming from the light above me, and that's kind of what's going to give me the dynamic look here. Now for my audio over here for my vertical shoots, I'm running this Rode Pod mic, and I'm running it down into this Scarlett Solo. It's a Focusrite Scarlett Solo, and I'm running that right into my MacBook over here. So everything's being captured on my MacBook, and I can combine everything after the fact. And I think this sounds a whole lot better than if I'm using like the DJI mics, or if I'm putting the Deity mic over here. Now those do sound good, but I just prefer the sound of a broadcast microphone or a studio microphone. I do have some loud noise going in behind me. The rejection on this microphone from everything that's coming from behind it's okay. It's not like the SM7B. That one really did make a difference in my setup. But for the price of this thing, you can't go wrong. Now, I do like the shotgun mic. I do kind of like having the mic out of scene if I'm going to show you guys something, but I also don't think this looks too bad. One other thing too is that this microphone and everything, it stays consistent. I'm not taking it from camera to camera or doing different locations. So once I get this dialed in, it's going to be the same every time. So the consistency is going to be good. So when I go to edit this in the workflow, it's just drop and go. I don't have to worry about fussing with the audio too much. All right, so here's how I use these 3 setups in one shoot. Now, I record the full talking head here on my R5 using the prompter, and I've got all my notes and everything going on there. Then I grab my B-roll with either the DJI Pocket 3 or the PowerShot V1, my printers, details, sometimes finished prints, things like that. And then when I'm ready to do some verticals, I step over into my vertical setup. I record 2 to 4 shorts while the topic is still fresh in my mind, and I get that out. And that's how I leave a shoot, with one long form video and multiple pieces of vertical content. Now, I also try to script some of my videos so that I can pull from these widescreen, wide field of views, and get some verticals from these as well. Now, if you want, I can make a printable checklist for this exact workflow and my gear setup. I know some of you guys like that. You've downloaded some things from my website before. I'll post that up on my website. I'll pose a question to you guys too. So what is your biggest bottleneck right now with your audio, lighting, or just getting yourself to record? Drop it down in the comments, and I'll tell you what I would fix first, and I'll give you guys a little bit of what my take would be on your dilemma or what's holding you back. Now, subscribe if you want some more creator gear or some real behind the scenes content that saves you time. If you want to see some more 3D prints, anything that you guys want to see that you think that I could make for you, drop it down in the comments and I'll make a video. For now, happy printing.